So progressive overload. Let's read the internet definition. Progressive overload is the principle of gradually increasing the stress on your body during exercise to continuously stimulate adaptation. So we get a stress, and then from that, an adaptation occurs. So other examples would be sun and water on a plant. You don't put too much on, but you put just the right amount of water, you put just the right amount of sun, you let that sit, and then the adaptation occurs. The plant grows. And then from that, the same amount of water might not cut it. You might need to actually put more on because it's a bigger tree, and it might need to spend more time in the sun. So what's another example? Like even just practice of a sport or an instrument or something like that, or like a task at work. When you first come to work, the stress is like a lot, and then you just wait, you sleep, you process it, and then there's this adaptation of the skill sort of download into your brain. So we're constantly adapting as humans, and you know, we've adapted over time. Like our eyebrows, there's a reason that just sits there, and there's a reason there's hair on our lids so that like dust and things don't just easily go in there. And you know, we've adapted to time to, is it our appendix? We don't even need that organ. I think it's the appendix. I can't remember what it was used for. I think like hundreds of thousands of years ago it was there so we could digest plants that we just don't eat anymore because they're harder to digest. So like a gorilla can eat like a whole bunch of leaves and they're just digesting it for hours on end, and they've got the system to do it. Whereas we've adapted to a point where we don't even need that organ anymore. And anyway, so there's constant adaptations. Progressive overload. So when we're talking about muscle size and strength, we want to lift weights. We want to stress the muscle. If I want to grow my pecs, I want to do pec flies, and I don't want to just do 10 reps of fucking nothing. Nothing will happen. Like if I just lift up this bottle, did a bicep curl, even if I did 10 or 15 of them, nothing's going to fucking happen. There's no stress to create the adaptation. So now we know what adaptation is. Progressive overload is saying that you're just constantly progressing. You can't do the same stimulus every time. You can't always pick this up and do 10 reps. You need to pick a heavier boulder up, or you need to do 1,000 reps or whatever. So this is saying, I disagree with this. This is saying gradually increasing. So this is a mistake that people do, right? Let's use the bicep curl as an example. People will grab the 5 kilo dumbbell and they'll do 12 reps because their program says 12 reps. And they'll go, cool, done. I made a video on this, an Instagram video. I'll send this. It's one of my favorites from ages ago. They'll pick it up. They'll do 5 kilos and they're cool, done. And then next week, they'll pick up the 6 kilo and they'll do 12 reps. And then the following week, they'll pick up 7 and they'll do 12 reps. Now, the point is, they could have done that the whole fucking time. They should have picked up the 7 3 weeks ago. Progressive overload is not just increasing the weight. You need to pick up the weight that you need that week. So if you are always capable of picking up the 7 and doing 12 reps, pick the 7 up and do 12 reps, because that probably will be hard and that will cause that adaptation. If every week, now this is what progressive overload is, if every week you train hard, you'll become stronger and grow more muscle, and therefore next week you will now have the ability to do more. So progressive overload is like a symptom of you training hard and getting stronger. Progressive overload is not just upping the weights to stuff that you could have already done. Okay? Sometimes we do need to chase an extra rep, and that is part of progressive overload, seeing that you did 12 last week and having it in your mind to go, I need to get 13 reps, or I need to go heavier. That's like a progression model, but progressive overload is saying that you need to do more to now create the adaptation. Hopefully that helps.